Reflexivos, or reflexive verbs, are things that you do to yourself. So, for example, washing yourself, combing your own hair, etc. So, first of all, me llamo Deborah. This is a phrase that we've seen before, maybe not with Deborah, but your own name. So, do you think this is reflexive or not? Do you think this is something you do to yourself or not? You're probably saying in your head that it's not because you want to say that it's my name is Deborah. But really what we're saying here is that I call myself Deborah. So the llamo is the verb in the yo form, and me is your indirect object pronoun. So me llamo, I call myself. Or actually it's your reflexive pronoun. So, rules for reflexive verbs. A reflexive verb reflects. So if I say me veo, I see myself, both of these have to do with myself. So I and myself are the same person, and thus it's reflexive. Think of it as in a mirror. I see myself. So I'm in the mirror, and I'm also outside of the mirror. Here's another example. So we just saw this, me llamo, I call myself, so I and myself are the same person. But here's where you see the difference. If you say llamo a la policía, I call the police, it's not reflexive because the police and I are not the same people. Thus it is not reflexive. So it has to be the verb and the reflexive pronoun have to be the same to make it relate to each other. Right? So I call the police, not the same person. It's I'm the one calling. I'm not calling myself, I'm calling the police. Where here, me llamo, it is I call myself, whatever name that I have. Right? Me llamo Señora Rios. So here are reflexive pronouns. Me is for me. So if I said me lavo, I wash myself. So if you want to put yourself here, myself. Te is yourself. Se is his or herself, or yourself formal. Nos is ourselves. Os is y'all's self, which really isn't a word, but we'll go with it. And se is themselves. So these top four should look familiar when we're talking about indirect object pronouns. They're the same. Me, te, nos, os. It's the bottom that changes. Instead of lay and lace, we get se for both. So you only have to remember one for his and herself and themselves, which is kind of nice. So here's an example. If you're drying yourself off, because I'm guessing that your mom doesn't dry you off after your showers or baths anymore. So, me seco, I dry myself off. Te secas, you dry yourself off. Se seca, he, she, or you formal, dries him or herself off. Nos secamos, we dry ourselves off. Os secais, y'all dry your own selves off. And se secan, they dry themselves off. So here you notice that the verb is conjugated normally in the present tense. So it's the o, as, a, amos, ais, and an. So all you have to do is remember to put that reflexive pronoun in the beginning. So here's the opposite of that. This is not a reflexive verb. Notice that it doesn't have the se. Let me go back so you see that. Any reflexive verbs in the infinitive get the se at the end. So this is not reflexive, which means I'm drying somebody else. So seco al perro, which really should be, so seco al perro, I dry the dog. Secas al perro, you dry the dog. Seca al perro, he dries the dog. Secamos al perro, we dry the dog. Secais al perro, y'all dry the dog. And secan el perro, they dry the dog. So you tell me, is this reflexive or not? Yo llamo a mis amigos. Who's calling? I'm calling. Who are we calling? My friends. Same person in 1 and 2? Nope, so not reflexive. Se llama Juan. Reflexive or not? So we've got se llama, and then Juan. So we have he calls himself Juan. So these are the same people in 1 and 2. So he calls himself Juan. Good. Me ducho. I shower myself. So both 1 and 2 both have to do with myself. Duchas el gato. You shower the cat. So 1 and 2, are they the same person? Nope, you're showering the cat. You are not the cat. So thus, it is not reflexive. So give it a try. 1, I go to sleep. 2, you read. They wake up is number 3. Number 4, we shave. Number 5, I play. And number 6, you wash. Some of these may be reflexive and some of them might not be. So you have to decide yourself. Again, whenever I do these test yourselves on here, you can always pause the video to give yourself more time, because I usually don't give you enough time on the video to finish 1 through 6, just so that you can pause and try yourself and then check your answers. So 1, I go to sleep. 2, you read. 3, they wake up. 4, we shave. 5, I play. And 6, you wash. So I go to sleep. Let's try that one first. Again, pause the video if you want more time. To go to sleep, the verb is acostarse. So if you're looking at your list and you see that it has a se at the end, it's got to be reflexive anyway. So I go to sleep is reflexive. I put myself to sleep. We're assuming that mommy doesn't pick me up and tuck me into bed anymore. I go on my own. So I go to sleep is yes, it's a reflexive. Me acuesto. I put myself to sleep. 2, tú lees. No, it's not reflexive. You don't read yourself. You don't have print on yourself and read it. So no. Tú lees. There should be an accent on my tú. So you read the paper. You read your homework. You read the book, right? It's not the same person. Ellos se despiertan. They wake themselves up. Yes, we are assuming again that mom isn't coming in going, honey, it's time to wake up. So it is reflexive. They're waking themselves up. Maybe they have an alarm clock, or they just know how to wake up. Or it could be that they're all friends in a room, in a dorm or something, and they are waking each other up. Nos afeitamos. Yeah, we shave ourselves. Again, it would be a little weird to have your mom shave you. So yes, we shave ourselves. And again, it's the same person in both 1 and 2. Yo juego. No, I don't play myself. I am not a basketball. I am not a game. So no. I play volleyball. I play con mis cartas, right? So no, not reflexive. Y te lavas, you wash yourself, because again, we're assuming that you do wash yourself now. You are a big boy or girl. So if I was talking about a baby, I would say lavo el bebé. And that would be fine. That wouldn't be reflexive, because we know the baby can't really wash himself. So I'm washing the baby, so not the same person, so that wouldn't be reflexive. So that's the end of my reflexive verbs. So if you want more practice, go to conjugemos.com under Spanish and verbs and give reflexive verbs a try, or go to my website, Señora Rios, or of course you can always go to the textbook website, Realidades, and that would be the blue book, chapter 2A. Thank you, reflexive verbs.